Hi guys, it's Rob. Okay, so Bug Out Brad posted a little video a while ago of 2 bees and asked if we're getting ready for winter. So I'm gonna up the ante on that a little bit, and I'm gonna show you a bunch more bees than that. We had a hive that must have swarmed a couple of days ago, and they have taken up residence in one of my outbuildings, a little storage room that we have here. See if I can get that up a little higher, where you can see now. Look at that. That's from the inside what you can see, where it looks down the wall. See if I can do this without them getting too upset. I'll watch them. They're thinking about me now. The inside bees are not quite as irritable as the outside bees are. I went and checked them a couple of days ago and got tagged 3 times for my curiosity. Alright, let's go back outside now and I'll take you around the other side. Those guys right there are just kind of working on sealing up the inside part of it there. They'll be trying to get a wax coating across it and do some other things like that. When I was in high school, back over here, make sure everything's good. My chickens. When I was in high school, my dad kept bees, and I used to work with him all the time doing that stuff. But we don't have any of that equipment anymore. I really don't want these guys. Go some doves. We've got a bunch of doves, and dove season's about to open up here in a couple of days. Now here, these guys are a little bit less pleasant, and of course right here I'm completely in their flyway. I'm not sure if you can see them flying in and out. The other day I got right over there next to them. Oh, they're working. They're coming back. See if I can zoom in on them a little bit before they get mad at me. You can see some of them flying in. They've got those big yellow spots on their back legs. That's where they've got the pollen that they're bringing in. There's a lot of cotton in bloom around here right now. But they are going to town, getting ready for winter, as Brad put it. And these aren't a particularly aggressive batch, even though I did get tagged, but that was my fault. I got right up next to them the other day. You see them, they're working on sealing up some of the holes. Busy little bees, as they say. Still hadn't quite got this camera figured out how to do it without staring at it. See, there's a group right there working on sealing up a hole. Kind of like those ones on the inside were doing. And then the main body right there somewhere is where they're going to make their main entrance. Probably right in there. There we go. There's one right there. You can see her getting ready to go in with that big yellow blob of pollen on her back legs. That's what they've taken. We'll make honey out of. They'll make honey to feed the hive. There's another one with the pollen. Bees are fascinating. I love them. I really do. All those right there you see are girls. They're all female bees. The workers are females. There's one queen in there in the middle. When they swarmed, they followed her. There we go. There's another one right there. Look at that. Look at that pollen. The color of it, that makes me think cotton. We got lots of cotton out here. In fact, I got cotton just right next door here. If I can get out there, we can see the blooms. There you go. You can see out there, there's blooms on that cotton. Cotton honey is some of the best. It's almost crystal clear. It doesn't have much of a color to it, and it is sweet. Holy cow! You can't hardly eat much of it because it's so sweet. But the problem around here, though, is we have the lake bottoms, our playa lakes, and so they will go and collect pollen off of what we call lake weeds, which are just nasty weeds that smell bad and just make a foul tasting honey. I mean, you can eat it, but it don't taste good. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them coming in loaded up. I mean, these gals are going to work quick. I've got to get them out of this wall here. I'm going to have to order some equipment. I'm going to have to order a bee suit. I'm going to have to order a couple of hive boxes and some frames and wax. And then I'm going to have to smoke them out and dress up in some Kevlar because they're not going to be happy when I go inside and start cutting the wall open to get to them. And even then, it may all be for nothing. I wish I could have caught them. They probably came out here, and if I was guessing, I'll bet they all hung off of that tree limb right there. Now I got to pan back so I can see it. Whoop, wrong way. There we go. There's a tree limb right there, and they probably all hung off of that. When my dad and I used to catch swarms, we had 5 hives in our backyard, and then we had another, 10 or 12 to start with anyway. He wound up having close to 60 by the time we were done. But we had another 10 or 12 off out in different fields where they could work the pollen in the fields and the flowers and make good honey. And it was just a full-time job. It was a lot of work. But they would swarm every now and then. When a hive gets too large, when they get so big that they have trouble making enough food to feed themselves, that's when they'll swarm. And the queen will lay some egg sacs and they feed them special, so it makes some of the larvae, which would otherwise grow into worker bees, turns them into queens. And then the queens, right before they're ready to hatch out, the queen will say, let's hit the road, and she'll take a few thousand bees with her, and they'll all start flying. Usually they've got a spot that they know where they're going. In our yard, there was one tree, and it was always the same limb that they would swarm to and collect in just a big wad of them hanging down, sometimes 3 feet. And Dad and I would get our suits on and get a box ready and go out there and put it under that big wad of bees. Usually it was my job to hold the box, and Dad would get up on the edge of the tree with a ladder, and he'd take a big chunk of a 2x4, sometimes a sledgehammer, and whack the limb as hard as he could, and the bees would all just drop off in a big mass down into the box that we had that we were going to start them off in. And then I'd put the lid on real slow, trying not to mash as many as I could help, and then we'd just kind of back off and watch and see what happened. If the bees all stayed in that box, and little by little what were the ones that were left on the limb started disappearing, we knew we had the queen. But if they all started reforming up on the limb again, making another big wad and a big bunch, then we knew that the queen was still up there, and we had to start the whole process over again. Usually we'd get her on the first try. I think only once or twice did we not get them all. Look at that. There's one loaded up with pollen. Right there. Look at you, honey. You are a good worker. It's going to be some good eating. Probably. As I wobble the camera all over. There's another one. And if you watch close too, some of them you'll see, like that gal right there. Maybe. They'll come back and they'll do a dance. Boy, I'm just wobbling. I'm a horrible camera person. I need Christy here to be doing this. Let me see if I can balance it against my body here and then find them again. I'm a horrible cameraman. There they are. Anyway, I started to say they'll come back and they'll do a dance that tells all the other bees, basically gives them coordinates to where she just found something good. She might have found water, she might have found a new batch of pollen. Anyway, I'm going to back that off. This is just awful. There we go. I'm actually closer than it seems. I'm about, I don't know, about 8 feet from them, I guess. And they're not bugging me. I'm flying. They're flying all past me and around me. So this may be a pretty good batch, which means they're probably not Africanized, which keeps them a little more gentle. They look like Italians or Italian cross. But anyway, that's it. I'll give you a quick look. You can see how ridiculous I look in the outfit here. This is just a mosquito net. Well, sorry, she ran into me. When I was a kid, quick story, when I was a kid, I would have to take the trash out, and the spot that I would take the trash out went right through the bee freeway, if you will, where they were all leaving the hives. Remember I said we had anywhere from 2 to 5 hives in the backyard at any time. And the spot that I went to the alley to take the trash was always right through, and especially on a hot summer day, you could see them just by the hundred, zip, 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 and just have to take a breath and walk through the middle. And I might have had long hair in the 70s, not like long hair, but, you know, down well over the tops of my ears. And when I would walk through there, usually it'd be okay, but once in a while one of those gals would hit me in the head and get stuck in my hair and think I attacked her and slap fire to my scalp. And then I'd beat myself senseless trying to kill her, even though once you get stung, it's already too late. Anyway, that's it. So like Brad said, are you getting ready for winter? These gals are. Winter's still a long time for us. We won't have winter until at least the end of October. Maybe even into mid to late November. So, there we go. Y'all be careful out there. Cheers. And guess what else? The bees aren't the only ones getting ready for winter. I don't know if you've ever heard, but out here in Texas, almost everything will either sting you, bite you, or has thorns. There's a lot of truth to that. I have been got by those guys many times. Yes, indeed. Anyway, winter's coming.